Well, good evening. Welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. This is Sandy, and it's another Wednesday night. I mean, it just goes so fast. How is it possible it's already Wednesday night? But it is. And Dale popped in earlier. I'm sure she'll be back. Julie is here. Hello. Wendy's in here. Good evening. And Craig is in here. Hello. How are ya? I hope everybody's doing good. Craig, I hope you're staying warm in that cold weather. Yes, it is cold in South Dakota and in Wyoming. Madeline, how are you? Good evening. So just a whole bunch of people just popping in. And tonight's topic is fun because look at that. Minus 23 degrees. Yeah, that's cold. Yeah, I saw that Rapid City, the schools were canceled again for 2 days in a row because of the cold temperature. But I do believe that it's supposed to be a warming trend now. Tomorrow should be warmer, and by this weekend, I think Rapid is supposed to be at about 50 degrees. That is a big swing from way negative degrees to 50 degrees. But I don't think there's supposed to be any more temperatures that are below zero for the rest of the season until next winter. So, 60s on Sunday. Wendy says, my socks on. Oh, she has her socks on that she won. Wendy had won socks that I was giving away, and they're supposed to be so warm. I gave a bunch of them to my kids, and then I thought, I am going to share that. And they had to guess the coldest temperature and the coldest wind chill of a certain night, and Wendy was one of the winners. Yay. Hello. BP is here. Madeline says 80 degrees in Florida, 50 tonight, tomorrow in the 60s, and at night, 35. Yikes. Right now it is 75 degrees here in Yuma, Arizona. And I think it's supposed to be basically in the 80s for a week. I think there's one day that's possible that's 79. So my garden is like growing. So it's a good thing to talk about what seeds should you be planting in February. And that really depends on where you live. Because in Arizona, I can sow carrots and radishes and just all kinds of stuff right into the soil right now. But I have had my cool weather plants in for about almost a month because we've been here almost a month now. And it's like my broccolis are probably easily 12 inches tall. They don't have any broccolis on them yet. There's just the plants. But it's a good time for me to like fertilize my citrus if I didn't do it last month. Though I did do it last month. But it's one of those things. Wendy says, we should drop below zero early in the morning. We get down to 1 and the wind chill minus 16. Tommy Williams is in. I wish I was there. It's 17 degrees in Texas. I saw some of those temperatures in Texas. That is crazy talk for Texas. And my friend Andale at Andale Homestead, she is supposed to get up to 5 inches of ice in North Carolina. What do you do at 5 inches of ice? You don't do anything. Angie is in. She says hello. Low of minus 20 today, minus 7 now. Should be 45 by Monday. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's right. Julie says, I harvested my first broccoli head today. And if we would have got down here earlier, we would be also doing harvesting of broccolis and cauliflowers and cabbages, things like that. But that's just not the way life was this winter. So that's all right. Honestly, if it doesn't look like my broccolis and stuff are heading when we have to go, I'm seriously just going to dig them up and put them in a plastic bag. Grocery bag with some dirt and bring them back to me, and I'm just going to plant them in Wyoming because I can. So why not? Yeah, Wendy is in Oklahoma, and Everybody's saying hi to each other. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Lots of his, Tommy's family is in Oklahoma. Cool. Okay, so what should you be planting in February? If you haven't done so already and you live in one of those southern states, it's a good time to start all your brassicas. So those are cabbages, broccolis, cauliflowers, anything like that, kale that you could start inside. Lots of flowers and lots of herbs. In fact, any place in the country right now, you could be starting some of those, especially if they take a long time, like up in Wyoming. I could start things like begonias, snapdragons, because they take a long time to, one, germinate, and then they take a long time to just progress. You know, sometimes I think we forget because you see snapdragons inside the greenhouses, and they're already this tall, and you don't realize how long those take to get that tall. Because we just usually grow them in the summertime. But I would, if I was in Wyoming right now, I would be starting those. So, but basically about any herb you wanted to, like another herb that takes a while to get growing is like rosemary. So if you haven't started your rosemary by seed, or if you haven't propagated it, because it's very easy to propagate, you're just snapping off, cutting off some of those little branches of rosemary, pull a bunch of those bottom leaves off. I like to use rooting hormone. You could use honey. And then I make a hole in the soil with a pencil, and I just slide it in and pack it around and give it some water just to pack it all around there. And it works just perfect. Vail, Arizona is 70 degrees. Oh, yeah. Julie says, I'm taking the rest of my brassica starts outside next week. Upper 70s and no rain forecast. Awesome. If, like down in Arizona, a lot of people will have already started parts of their garden. They're putting stuff out right now. Now, I would say that most of the southern states would regularly be putting some stuff out, but they're having another polar vortex, so they are not putting stuff in the garden right now, but it won't last long. And then the soil will warm up fast, and they'll be able to start planting those. So if you say your zone in there, I printed off, actually, which is really a pretty good, it's like garden chores from all the different growing zones. It's sowtrueseeds.com. It's one of their blogs. But they break it down to each of the zones. And there's always things that you can do in the wintertime. Like you could sharpen your tools. You could, if they're wooden handles, you could put some linseed oil on the wooden handles. Or some people like to paint their handles. There are things to do in the wintertime, even if you're not quite sure if you have the space or the time right now to start your seeds. And like one of the things I have to start early living in Wyoming are onions. Onions or leeks. If I'm going to grow those from seed, they take a long time. Angie says, I have parsley in 15 of 30 cells in her iHarvest. iHarvest is a hydroponic system. They are growing good. Oh, so good. Julie says, nice, Angie. It took me 3 tries to get parsley going. But I mean, parsley is such a great plant, and depending on where you live, it can come up again. You know, there's a lot of seeds going on, and a lot of times it will just go pull back up. Though I do like growing in hydroponics. I have an iHarvest also back home, and you can just grow so many things. And growing lettuce through the winter is just a phenomenal thing to grow in any kind of hydroponics. And that's right. Parsley is a biannual. And so it's going to flower the second year. It's going to throw a bunch of seeds all over. And if you get a patch of parsley, there's always some that are flowering that year, some that aren't. And It's just fabulous. But like, if you were in zone 5, not this week, because it's so cold, but inside you could start all your brassicas. Another thing to think about in February is some seeds need to be stratified. They need to have a period of cold. So if you have seeds like that, put them in the refrigerator right now. Let them stay in there for 6 weeks to 3 months, depending on the plant, so that when you actually plant them, they'll think they've gone through winter, and then they will sprout for you. Wendy says, I have that spring planting itch. I have peppers and some herbs started in the house. I totally understand that. So I did talk about my licorice. So my licorice is in this pot. I have it in a bag, so it's a little more humid. It's dry here in Arizona, but nothing coming up yet. But it did say 7 to 14 days, and it hasn't been that long. And so I have it so it's kind of in indirect light right now. Well, not in my room right now, but I brought it in so that you could see it. But I wanted to be able to grow licorice root down here in Arizona because I live in a zone that it's possible. And I have different areas that get water all through the year. And you don't get to harvest it really. I mean, could you take a root or two after the first year or two? You could, but they really recommend you wait till 3 years before you start harvesting the root. But with the licorice plant, you can actually you can put the leaves and the flowers in salads. You can dry them. You can add them to stews and stuff like that in the wintertime. So why not? Angie says that she used her oldest seeds, 2015, used 3 seeds in each cell, and I have growth in every one I planted. Awesome. Awesome. Because herbs and flowers are a great thing to start right now. Now, depending on your space, because not everybody has shelves and shelves with lights that they can grow a lot of plants. Decide how many plants that you need. And one of the things you can do is you can put multiple seeds in each of your little cells that you're growing in them and separate them later. I find a trick to do is when you need to go to separate them, because the roots do tangle, but if you just lift that out of the cell, put it in some water and just dip it up and down, all the soil will go away. And it's very easy to pull those roots away from each other. And then you can plant them in your garden or in pots, however you're going to grow them for the rest of their life. So that's a little trick to do. Oh, I should tell you, I'm giving away some scrubbies. Okay, so this scrubby is made with a yarn that's kind of, hard. Not real hard, but it's stiff. Maybe stiff is the better word. And then this one is very soft yarn. So this would be great for if you were doing your dishes. This would be great when you're using it in the shower or the bath. You just put a little soap on there, scrub away. Very soft. So I'm going to give 2 sets of those away today. So we might as well give one of them away right now. So let me type, and Nightbot is going to pick a winner. Not me, Nightbot. So Nightbot will do anybody that's said anything in the chat. That's how Nightbot picks you. And oh, Jamie's in here too. And you are the winner. Awesome. I'm giving 2 sets away. So congratulations, Angie. Awesome. And Jamie Marie popped in. Hello. And so in just a few minutes, we'll give the other set away too. And then if I don't have your regular physical address, I'll put my email up and you can send it to me and I'll mail it right out to you. Another thing, I was giving away, I told all of my members that I would give away some of my Ponderosa lemons seeds and some of my Mexican lime seeds. So if any of you guys want that, oh, give it to your father. Okay, I will send that to Craig. Okay, let me cross that out. I hope Debbie likes them, Craig. So if anybody wants them, send me an email, and let me give you my email right there. So if you'd like either one of those seeds or some of both, just let me know and I will mail them out to you. My Ponderosa lemons are my really huge lemons. In fact, I made this great big jug of lemonade. I only used 3 lemons, and I got 5 cups out of those 3 lemons. But one of them was 19 inches around. And so I saved the seeds because I have little plants growing in my garden in the back from my seeds. And I thought, well, somebody else might want to do that too. Julie wants to know what a Ponderosa lemon tastes like. It tastes just like a regular lemon. It has a very thick rind. The flowers are huge. Like, so if you've ever grown any kind of citrus, just think of flowers twice that size, and you can imagine the Ponderosa lemon flowers. And I mean, seriously, I have to support some of the branches because I have broken branches because they just get so big. Wendy says that she can grow lemons in the geothermal. Do you want some seeds? Just let me know, Wendy, and I will send them to you. But they are a fabulous lemon. And the thing I like about the Ponderosa lemon seeds, one, you can start them whenever. Like I started some last summer. I brought them home from Arizona, and I have ones that are, easily 15 inches tall that are in the ground. I brought them down when we came down, and they, I'll give a bunch of them away. If I still have some extra, I'll just dig them up and bring them back to Wyoming, and somebody will want them. I just like the whole idea of growing anything from seeds. And I like it that they're really not too hard to grow. So, but I just took these out of lemons 2 days ago, lemons and the limes. And a Mexican lime, the seeds that I have for the Mexican limes, start green. Then they turn a yellowish color. But they're not, like when you buy limes in the store and they're a little elongated and they're probably this. These are more the size of a small orange. And they make great, like I'm going to make a lemon pie. I've made lemon cookies. I've just added the lemon juice to a lot of different things. You can add it with fish, all kinds of stuff. LP, hello. Good evening. Callie, hello. How are you? Well, that's one of my setups in Wyoming for when I'm growing. And I just do it. Angie, you sure can have some lime seeds. I will write that down. Awesome. Angie actually has a clementine tree that my brother and his granddaughter planted the seeds, and then he grew it for a while. Then he gave it to me, and then I gave it to Angie, and it is huge. It had buds on it this year, so that's just so exciting. BP says, I have bear slime. I would like to try that. And Wendy says that she'll send me some basil seeds from Italy. That is exciting. Yay, yay, yay. Wendy, I'm going to write that down so I don't forget to send those seeds to you. And Rudy is in here. I got the picture frame and the note. Rudy had one of my hearts, my fused glass hearts that I had framed up, and I gave it away on, I think it was the Wednesday before Valentine's Day. So that was kind of fun. So, have I heard of a cocktail grapefruit? Is it a cocktail grapefruit tree because it has different types of grapefruit on it? Because if that's the case, yes, I have heard of that. A lot of times they'll call a cocktail tree that, like a stone fruit one will have different kinds of stone fruit, peaches, plums, stuff like that. So I wonder if you mean that it has different types of grapefruit. The grapefruit that we have outside over here, it has grapefruit for the first time. They're not quite ripe yet. And they're a ruby red grapefruit. So they are pinkish inside. So I'm totally excited. Oh, BP says, no, just a variety, very sweet. Oh, do you have one? Do you get seeds from it? Because I would like some seeds if you do. Rudy, I don't think the Vineyard Chicks are in here tonight. So, the Vineyard Chicks are 3 young girls. They have a channel. They are just spectacular, you know. Okay, so let's give the other one away. And while we're talking about what we're growing in February. Okay, next 2, we'll see who the winner is. Oh, just a minute. Angie says, oh, can I get some ruby red seeds? You sure can. I thought I might check, see if there's any that, how I know if they're ripe. All you have to do, just like an apple, you just twist it just a little bit, and if they'll just pop right off, they're ripe inside. If they want to hold on, they need a little more time. And the ruby reds are just like the blood oranges. They kind of get this hue of kind of pinkish red on the outside too. And that's always a good indication that it will, that they're ready too. LP says, I have a fruit cocktail tree with stone fruit, but only one variety survives, so it's only apricots now. Yeah, see, that's a difficult thing depending on where you live, because in Wyoming, the master gardeners have bought a couple of them that we put in the urban orchard, but some of the branches did not come back because of the weather. But really, when you look at those type, they're not really zoned right. So it just happens. But you can graft other things onto that apricot. BP says, yes, it has tons of seeds. We'll save you some. Thank you. And I'm just writing ruby red so I don't forget on Angie too. But when I have those ready, I will let everybody know and I'll send them out to you. And how long does it take those citrus from seed to produce? Honestly, it really depends. Easily in 5 years. You're correct. Easily in 5 years. But then I've known other people that have done it, and at 4 years, it still wasn't doing anything. So I think a lot of it depends on if you have it in the ground or if you have it in a pot. If you, since it's growing from seed, do you have a fertilizing or compost schedule that you do? Because citrus need to have added fertilizer 2 to 3 times a year. And that can really help it stimulate. And Rebecca is here. Hello, good evening. Rudy, next time I am with Ann, I will sure do that. I'm actually concerned it's just the rootstock because I finally got to taste the fruit and they weren't very good. Sometimes the very first year, what I found on my trees, they're not as tasty as the second year. But if it is a rootstock, you can easily graft. You can buy citrus scions online, and you can graft them right onto and have a specific type that you want. But I have found the first year that they can be a little bit not as good. Like this is our second year for our blood oranges. And the first year they were okay. They were a little more tart than I wanted them, but this year they're just so much better. I grafted citrus. My grafted citrus is down to just lemon and 2 varieties of oranges. Grafted trees are particular. Yeah, you have to graft a different citrus. Like if you had the stone fruit, you're going to have to graft different stone fruits onto it. And BP says, I would love to grow a blood orange, but they don't do well in Tucson from everything I've read. See, that's interesting because other people told me I couldn't grow them in Yuma either. And I have 2 trees now. I just planted another one. And they are on a water system. But so far, so good. But they are slower than my other citrus because I have a clementine that is newer than my original blood orange, and it is 3 times as big. So they are a little more fussy. Okay, anyway, I need to type this so that we can have another winner. And Nightbot will pick anybody that's in the chat. It's really an experiment for me because I'm in Michigan and some kinds of citrus grow from my worm casting. So I pot the 2 seedlings up and brought them in for the winter. When we were in Wyoming all the time, Angie, you're winning again. I had citrus. I had limes and oranges and lemons. And poor Joe, he would drag those out in the springtime and he dragged them back out in the fall time. But I guess it's just the way it is, you know. Wendy says, I will send you the basil next week. I will find your I will email you first the address. Awesome. I'm pretty sure, Wendy, I have your address. And so I will send those seeds out and then just send the basil whenever you want. Yeah. Oh, Angie says to give them to somebody else. And Penny is in here. Let me type one more time. Nightbot likes Angie tonight. The other night, or a couple weeks ago, it liked Cora. Cora won everything. When he says, I can't find my address book, so I need it again. Okay, I'll email you it. Oh, BP, you are the winner. Awesome. And I am sure I have your address too. So yay. Congratulations. That is so much fun. So tell me in the chat, what are you growing from seed right now? Have you started any flowers? Are any of your brassicas? Have you started any herbs yet? That's what I think. You know, it's always an experiment. So why not? Oh, and Jake is here. Hey, Jake, how are ya? Jake, how cold are you in Texas? Because some parts of Texas I saw were very cold. Even Dallas was cold. Oh, so Julie's got broccoli, kale, celery, chard, cilantro, watercress. For any of you guys that are planting right now, either inside or in the ground, Jake says it's 22 degrees. Feels like 15. Yep, I was sure I had it. But you know when you go to the grocery store and you can buy those bundles of green onions, right? What I do here and in Wyoming, I chop them off so there's probably 2 or 3 inches, right? I use the top, you know, I'll put it in some stew when I'm frying potatoes, whatever. I'll put it in there. And then I take that, if I'm doing it inside because it's too cold, I just put them in little cells with some dirt and I push it down in there so that most of the white is covered. But like here in Arizona, I just put them in the ground And by the time they're ready to harvest, they're as fat as leeks. And so I just pull them up. I use the top for something else. I chop it again, and I'll split that down the center and grill it. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And a lot of times you get those bundles, 2 bundles for $1. And I thought, that's the easiest way to grow onions ever. So you can do that anytime. You know, why not? I did hear that there was a little snow going on in Texas too. Penny says, I do that too. Oh, yes, and the green onions and garlic. I can grow the green onions year round. And I mean, they're fun to grow, and they don't take a long time to grow. And so no matter what month it is, it's something easy to grow that anybody can do, inside or outside. Yeah, grilled onions. They're so good. When my sister was down here last year, we had the grill going, and I mean, we sliced beets, we sliced those onions, just all kinds of vegetables, cooked them on the grill. Man, so good. And it's an easy thing. You know, two bundles for $1. A lot of times $1.50, depending on the store that you go to. I just don't think you can go wrong. I also get 1 or 2 store onions to go to seed. That's true, because the big onions that you buy in the store, they're not going to make another onion for you, but they'll send a shoot up and it'll make the flower, and you can collect those seeds. Now, do you always know what type of onion it's going to be? I mean, you know it's white, or it's a yellow onion, or it's a red onion. But you don't know if it's a long day or a short day onion. But why not try it? You know, why not? And Nancy is here. Hey, Nancy girl. Nancy has snow. Yep, I saw one video she had up the other day, and she said it was like a blizzard. She's not supposed to have snow like that. But everybody, I am past my 30 minutes. And so, Craig, BP, I will be mailing these out tomorrow. I'm going to, my address right here, in case you want some Ponderosa lemons, seeds, or some Mexican limes. My other stuff isn't ready yet, so I can't send those yet. Oh, Susan, hello, how are you? I received your beautiful heart magnet today. I will cherish it always. Oh, good. Yeah, what she's talking about is, before Valentine's Day, I was giving away these magnets. They're made with fused glass. They're just so fun to do. So I'm glad that you got it. Nancy says, I will do a video when I get the other heart. Nancy won too. Because I was giving them away on my lives. So I was giving 4 of them away a week. So it was great fun. But everybody, I am going to let you go. And I rearranged my art room, so I have a little more space. So that took me all afternoon. Everybody have a great evening, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.